Evening, everyone. Welcome to the DONNYCHAINGANG. We're back here in the studio, and for me, I did my riding on Serpentine earlier in the week and last week, and it does work if you keep an eye on what's going on. I think if you follow me on Strava or on Facebook or on Zwift, which is Matt Fix a Pain, you might get a little heads up of where we're going quite often. Same with Russ. Make sure that you stay on with Russ as well. Now, we've got Pritygrity week this week, and it's really, really important that you make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. And it's really simple. If you've got yourself set up, make sure you've got your bike on your turbo. Make sure your ant stick is plugged into the cable right at the back of the bike so that it's as near to the setup as possible. Make sure that you're all ready to go. We're all ready to go here, and I think everybody else looks to have got the memo. As I look across onto the screens, we've got a number of screens here, and we're able to check out what's going on. Remember, of course, this is Pritygrity week. You can see the Pritygrity right across here. And basically, Pritygrity are a sustainable clothing business based just down in Nottinghamshire and Leicestershire way. And they basically have everything as green as possible. So all the boxes are recyclable, all the plastic bags that the things come in are all biodegradable. All the labels come with brown string in the back, same with the hats. And the hat's actually made out of recycled bottles. It is really comfy, it's really good kit. I know Russ and I had a little bit of a meeting during the week yesterday, and Russ was very enviously looking at the t-shirt and at the hat, so you never know, we'll see how that goes. We gave away goodies to the DONNYCHAINGANG members, the members of the DCG gang. That's the DONNYCHAINGANG Supporters Club, and they were a jersey and some arm warmers and a cap, just like this one. And they've already got out, and all those winners know. We're going to be doing the same again tonight. We need you to nominate people, and if they are members of the DCG gang, then they're eligible for those prizes. If you're not a member of the DCG gang, why not? It's really easy. Click on the button. Donate £20, gets you 1 month. That month we send you every link, previews, profiles, discount codes, people like OTE, Grand Tour Coffee, Halo Wheels, Pritygrity, and lots more coming up. There's more than I can ever remember. We've got a fantastic giveaway coming up for members of the DCG gang. That is probably going to launch at the weekend, so you do need to keep your eyes on that. And remember, of course, it all helps us keep the show on the road. That's Russ over in the virtual world and me here in the studio. We both give up our time for nothing. Basically, all we need you to do is help us cover the costs. So it doesn't matter whether it's the mic, the hardware, the software, whether it's the controllers that we've got for everything, whether it's the bits of cable we blow up or the PCs we blow up, all the things that we do to get it to you. If you donate, we say thank you. We give you loads of goodies, giveaways, and we send you reminders of the links direct to your inbox. If you're not a member, it's still free to ride, remember. You can ride for free. Just join a ride, and those links come out between 36 and 24 hours before the event. Sometimes both together on the Monday, sometimes they come separately. So just keep an eye on the site, and we will open them when we can. But, of course, the key thing for us is that we get that out there immediately to you as soon as possible. Now we're going to cut across to Russ for a very quick chat. So let's see what Russ is up to. Russ, are you there? And can you hear me?
I can actually hear you, Matt.
That's always a bonus.
Little issue with the actually seeing you, but that's probably not a bad thing.
Well, you know, that's been said before.
No, yeah, just don't know what happened there. It went on a bit of a blip, but yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Just on a little warm up, so just stop pedaling.
Even better, even better. And it's a course that you and I have both wrecked quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, like I joked about the other night. I think I've reconned it more than some of the serious bike races I've done in my life. But yeah, it's all good fun, and just typing away at the minute and doing things. You know, you think it's four sort of passages through the archway, which is like 1.5 laps of the full circuit. So yeah, just look out for the arch, and work out the kilometres. Mountain biking is not easy. It's not just get on with it. So it should be good fun.
Yeah, definitely. And the Serpentine 8 is some of the best routes in Watopia because it goes over the Mayan Bridge, and it's really where the guys at Swift have gone to town, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've done a bit of this on and off over the past, but then this is all new and did it. Like going over those bridges, it's scared of heights, And, I'm not sure if Andy Beryl's on tonight, but I do remember from being a mechanic on our team before. He's really scared of bridges, so maybe he'll have a problem tonight, Andy. But if you're out there, mate, sorry for dropping your secret out there.
I'll remember that if we're ever out riding to make sure that I'm nowhere near him when we go over a decent sized bridge.
Absolutely petrified. I think he had to get out of the team van once, driving to Ruben Gritier in France. He had to get out and just like get in the passenger seat and put his head over his hand. Yeah, I didn't know anybody could be that fearful of a bridge. Some of the bridges in France are amazing. They're great, but I didn't like them.
Excellent. He should have had a headband over his eyes. That would have done the job. Never mind to keep the hair out and the sweat out of your eyes. A DCG headband would have done the business, wouldn't it? Just use it like a blindfold.
I saw people, I think we put them on the dog yesterday, so I started off Bruce. I think I needed to unstitch one and stitch two together to get around my dog's big head. But I think Keith Richardson's got two on now as he's riding. He thinks it's going to be that tough, but. Yeah, the first batch of those has gone out, so there should be some more going out this week. So if you haven't seen them or know you want one, just give us a shout on the social media, either on Facebook or on the Instagram. So yeah, should be good fun.
Definitely. Well, we're going to explain to everybody where we're going. We're going to let you get yourself sorted and answer the questions you've already answered before. Because people clearly can't read what you've already put. So we will let you get back to it. And remember, of course, if you see somebody out there, make sure you nominate them if they are the spirit of the chain gang, because that's what we want. We want riders who maybe have gone back and helped people. Maybe they've busted inside out. Maybe they were riding the wrong bike. Maybe they put a mountain bike on the turbo. We want to see them on the course and get them nominated, and if they are members of the DCG gang, we'll be giving some more Pritygrity giveaways. So Russ diving off, and we'll show you the course. So Watopia, Serpentine 8. Yellow beacon's Russ, the red beacon is Andrew Edwards, which is Ted, and the course itself has a long lead in. We start up at the top of the hill, and the lead in is 7.3k as a lead in. Then you go down onto the course proper. We go round the course for 1.5 laps, basically. It's a 19k course in total, but we pass through underneath the gantry, which is a stone rock arch, at 9.6k on the second lap. Sounds complicated, but it's not. Just count down till you get to about 36k and you'll know where you are. There's only one archway on this, but we go up and around the bridges. So for those people whose maths is rubbish, hold one finger up, hold the other finger up and bend it halfway down. That's about how far you're going around the circuit. Remember, of course, long lead in. So it is really fun. It's a good course. Russ and I have enjoyed wrecking this, turning ourselves inside out. Now, let's show you what it looks like on the map, courtesy of a Zwift Insider. And the Zwift Insider map, as you can see, the red is the run-in. And as you can see, we're still working our way down there. The blue dot running down to the bottom, and it runs down halfway down, crosses the Mayan Bridge, and then it goes down to the bottom. And essentially, the bridge over the lake, over the gorge, is crossed when you go downhill, not when you go uphill. So the uphills are all done in one. The downhill is split by the bridge on the way down. So it's 1.5 laps. It's going to be really interesting to see how this runs. It's really important to stay together as a group. It really is going to be really, really important. I mean, I can't say this enough for people to try and stick together tonight. We've got lots of amazing riders on here, lots of pro riders, and whilst we're talking about pro riders, we're going to say that in our thoughts are the family and friends of Craig Hardy, who a lot of our pro riders know, a mechanic on the Enduro team, shop owner, a wheelie meister, one of the really fun guys of the sport, sadly passed away, and I think probably very appropriate that just after this news we're going off on the mountain bikes and playing silly whatsits, because that's exactly what Craig would have done. So our thoughts are with the family and friends, and you will be missed, that is for sure, Craig. So let's show you the profile of this, because this is really important. Valid viewer, key people on the chain gang, whether that's Anna riding on the Women's Wednesdays, whether it's Ben riding on the open events on the Tuesdays and Thursdays, or more importantly, giving us all of the information. Get yourselves onto VeloViewer. It's really, really important to go in and learn what's going on. We're going to see who has been keeping an eye on what's happening, who has been watching the Facebook page, who has been a member of the DCG gang and got all the insider information really early, because that is critical to know what's going on. Now, our riders, when they join the circuit, are going to join this figure of 8 circuit. Essentially, when we join, we're going to join at the top of the course, the very highest point that you can see there on the map, up in the northwest corner. You're going to drop down, northeast corner, then you're going to drop down the west side, down towards the VeloViewer graphic. You're going to cut across the bridge in the middle, and then you're going to come round the bottom, around the flat section, and that's where the archway is. You can see the very flat section at the bottom, and where it comes around that left-hand turn. So you sweep in, there's a right, a left, and a right. The long left, that's where the archway is for the lap. We then go all the way to the top, come back down the other side, cross the bridge, come back over again, and then we do the same again, and that is what happens all the way around. Really, really important that you make sure you keep an eye on what the guys are doing and exactly where they're heading, because that is absolutely crunch on the way around the circuit, and it's all about holding it together and staying with the group. Remember, the group are going to be heading out, and we need to stay together as a pack on the way out around this circuit. As you can see, the gradients aren't too steep, about 6%, 7% at the steepest, 3.5% for most of it, and our riders are going to need to make sure that they keep themselves together out and around the circuit. It's certainly looking to me like it is pretty busy out there at the moment, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on the riders heading out. I'm going to try and dive in with Russ as our first rider. Easier said than done at the moment, because there's about 300 riders out on circuit yet again. And remember, guys, the aim is to stay with Russ, the bear, the yellow beacon, for as long as is possible until the go. At that point, that is when you're able to set off. Now let's take a little bit of a look across. I'm sure you've all got the map and the course in your head, so let's take a quick check across over there, past the screens with the world's warming stripes on, and across onto the Pritygrity screen. And as you can see, we already have our riders underway. It looks like they are out on circuit. In fact, our helicopter just feeding in the audio now, so looks at the moment like a call for 2 watts per kilo. The messages from Russ come up in the middle of the screen. We'll explain to you what all the other parts of the screen do out and around the sides. So up across in the top corner on the right hand side, you can see there's a -2%. That's got the map, and we will be changing that map view on the way round. Main screen has the view wherever we're looking. We have down the right hand side, so that's all the way down the right side of the screen. You'll see our riders at the moment highlighted in blue is Russ Downing, and Russ at the moment he's doing 127, 164 watts. It's fluctuating a little bit. His heart rate 91 beats per minute, 99 revs on his way round. Down the bottom of the screen are some of our key supporters. Remember, none of them sponsor or pay for the gang. What they do is support our members of the DCG gang. And then over on the far side, you'll see, of course, the Downing Cycling logo, the heart rate, etc. And then dead centre, Pritygrity, watching Russ Downing, with the speed currently 50 kph, and I think we are going to need to dive down because it's looking pretty much like we're struggling to see through the cloud into towards the jungle, down through the side of the mountain at the moment. The helicopter just a little stuck on the side. So let's go dive into the chain gang with me, Matt Payne, here live on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel. So let's go in with Russ. Let's dive down off the canopy here, and Russ looks like he's right in this group at the moment. Really busy around Russ. Remember, the aim is to stay as close to Russ as possible, and we just about make him out through the dust. We're going to get the camera up in the air, and I think we'll be able to get out of the dust and the grime. Remember, of course, we're only going to be able to see 100 of the nearest riders, and it's all about being able to stay together as a pack as these riders make their way down through the course. Our beacon at the back is the red beacon, and the red beacon is Ted, currently sitting about 13 seconds down. So let's jump in with Ted. I think Ted has a few people around him. So here we go. Let's dive out from Ted. It looks like already seeing some of the guys already on the way in here. So this is Ted at the moment. Nice flat cap, mate. Just going alongside Langmead here, side by side, as they're trying to push the way down in through the jungle. And we're just keeping an eye on all these riders as everybody comes through the jungle at the moment. Now, if we take a little bit of a look backwards, we're going to just take a look. Looks like Marley just getting onto the wheels here, going to go past our beacon, I suspect. And we're going to be keeping an eye out. I think Hardy's just off at the back at the moment. So let's have a little bit of a spin around, and you just see Hardy just trying to close down one or two people with dropouts. Looks like John Catley with the dropout at the moment. So the guys do need to keep the pressure off. Keep your eyes out for the sloth on the way down. We've also got plenty of wildlife on the way through, but at the moment, as you can see, our red beacon already starting to get itself packed together. It is tough stuff if you're not on a mountain bike, and this is where we know who has been watching the Facebook pages, who's been keeping an eye on what's going on. And at the moment, this our red beacon group just ticking along quite nicely. One of the wonders of flying a virtual drone cam is that we basically don't end up hitting all of the arches on the way down. So our riders are coming down. They're going to head across over the main bridge. The big pack all strung out around Russ at the moment. We're just going to take a little bit of a run up the course at the moment, and we're going to see who's up there. It looks like Tim Cooper just up the road here. Tim just trying to get onto this group, and you can just about see through the dust. Tim making his way here in front of the red beacon. Let's get up in the sky, just up down underneath the gantry, and we're going to be keeping an eye on Tim as he comes in towards the bridge. And it is some pace at the moment, and at the moment it is pretty flat out on the way through. We're going to drop down. Now remember, we're just coming down onto the section here that will take us down in towards the Mayan bridge and over the bridge. So we're just going to keep our eye on Tim. Tim just making his way up onto the back of the group, and you can see already it is getting really busy out there. The group at the moment all spread out. You can just see Russ just making his way down in underneath the palace, the side of the palace here. It looks like Tim just going to make his way across onto the bridge. We're going to see if we can get across to Russ. As you can hear, the road noise just starting to pick up. In fact, I know who we're going to go in with. Let's see if we can jump in with the birthday boy himself, because we are going to take a look for birthday boy Liam Calloway. Liam, a member of the chain gang from early days, and looks like he's really is deep in the pack, in the grey there, just bobbling his way around. And you can see at the moment the mountain bikes all clustered around Russ. There are plenty of people chasing behind. Liam Calloway is his birthday boy, and 250 watts, 74 revs per minute, 130 beats per minute, and the numbers are certainly creeping up on the front. So please guys, keep the pace down. Remember, this is all about keeping the group together as we start off on our way up the hill, and we are going to be keeping an eye on all of our riders, but particularly a certain Mr. Callaway, who is in here and riding very, very strongly indeed. We're going to jump up in the air, take a little bit of a look back now, and as you can see, the group around Russ are working hard. The red beacon's not all that far behind the guys here. Looks like Nick Dorsey nicely in this group as well, and we can work our way through plenty of these riders. Looks like Phil Bones Sanderson is in here, just keeping an eye down here on the rest of the riders. The pack are working well at the moment. It's just making the way up from the bridge side at the moment, and as you can see, it is really, really tough stuff going over here. Some fantastic scenery here in Watopia, here in the Mayan jungle, and as you can see, everybody at the moment holding it all together. It should, in theory, hold together a little bit better, because when riders go off the back, they shouldn't be distanced too much. Famous last words. Let's jump back in with Russ. Now, we've got a lot of new members to the DCG gang. We've mentioned quite a few of them already, but remember, of course, the DCG gang is how you can help us keep on getting the rides out there, keep on putting the rides on, and keep the whole of the gang on the road. Basically, we are going to reward you. We're going to say thank you very much, because being tight Yorkshiremen, we know that you don't get out for now. We want your support, and the way we do that is we've used our contacts, Russ and mine, in the sport to get you loads of great discounts, giveaways. We've got themed weeks. We are bringing more and more rides out, including the Women's Wednesdays, and we've also got plenty of action with our riders who are here, who are professional riders, and the latest member of the DCG gang is a certain Mr. Ian Bibby, and Ian Bibby is of course a former national champion, great cross rider, so suitable that he's riding today, and looks to me like Ian nicely in this pack. And remember, of course, this whole group making its way out and around here as part of Pritygrity Week. Make sure you go onto the website, have a read of all the articles. They're really deeply thought out bits of kit, with everybody making sure that the packaging, all the equipment, all the kit that comes out from Pritygrity, it is as sustainable as possible. The planet is heating up, and we need to do as much as we can to not make that worse. So the call coming from Russ to keep the pace off at the moment. They've got a long way to go, guys. You do need to be keeping it pretty steady. We're going to jump in with a few of our other riders, just jumping in with Catherine here. And Catherine, one of our newer riders, and good to see Catherine just out on the mountain bike there. Nice Peugeot kit, the old Peugeot kit there, nicely in action. You can see these riders working hard at the moment. So just going to jump up in the air, see if the helicopter can pick up our riders as they head down. We're going to be heading down into the caves very shortly indeed, and that is going to give us an interesting view back. Here we go into the caves at the moment, and I think we're just going to try and get the drone just up and take a little bit of a look out from the riders as they start heading in through the cave system here. Dodge the start tights on the way through. So we come round this right hand bend, and we're going to come out from the cave system. The arch is going to be in front of our riders. If you're watching live, please remember, guys, you need to keep an eye on it. You're going to be coming at it from the other direction. This is going to be really confusing for those of you who can't even count the number of laps on a mountain bike race. This is going to be very entertaining indeed, because you're going to need to be able to know exactly where we're heading. And you're going to be able to see, if we just get the drone around the corner, this is the finish line. It's approached in both directions on this course. This is where the timing goes from, and this is where we will be calling the finish on the way through. And as you can see, it is pretty interesting down in the caves. So the drone just shows got the waterfalls falling on the outside, just sheltering the whole of the ride here as we come through. These riders are looking good at the moment. We're going to just jump in with Craig Genther, because Craig is one of our riders who has been a winner already on the Pritygrity week. And Craig will be getting a jump, a man who'd done a lot of hard work to keep other people on the ride, Keith Richardson and Emma Payne, people who over the course of the ride and the run into Pritygrity week had done loads of people, lots of messages, keeping everybody together, making sure everybody was looking after themselves, making sure that they had the base. As you can see, just looking back, the back of this group looking pretty smooth from Craig here. So just jumping in with Maddie Smith. Maddie, one of the keen off-roaders, very infectious enthusiasm, and somebody who couldn't miss today. Of course, the former national mountain bike champion and cross champion here, riding in that level 20 jersey in the pink. The Terminator herself. And we know that she's going to be enjoying this. I don't know whether Maddie's actually put the bike on the turbo, put the mountain bike on there. Good to see plenty of mountain bikers in here. Ailey Gilbert in the group, one of the regular mountain bikers we see on the National Mountain Bike Series. Looks like Emma Collier is in here as well. Another of the regulars on the mountain bike scene. We're going to work our way through. Let's have a little look. Abbas in here, O'Neill, Berry's in this group. Just take a quick look. It looks like it is going to be Shay on the side here. So Mary Shay on the back as Lisa Leverton puts in a big effort here, just coming along the side in the blue and yellow, but lots of riders just starting to come back to this group. If we take a little bit of a look up in front, I think we're going to see plenty of riders in a long line up to Russ. Remember, the aim here is to stick close to Russ. Now we've just gone past the turn for the Alp at the Zwift, and the uphill's just starting to kick into the riders. And here we go. Here's Mr. Bibby. We have been talking about him already, just so that you know whose jersey to follow. Ian looking really good on the way through here, so just keeping an eye on Ian as he starts to make his way into the pack. Remember, Bibby getting the shout to move up, a man with plenty of experience. So the question is, will he be in when we get in towards the end? I have it on good authority that he's not actually been doing all that much riding the bike since last time he was on the Chain Gang, which is a little while ago. But maybe looking like he's maybe just put on a bit of timber there. Maybe too many Lancashire pies between the last Chain Gang and this one. So Bibby in this group on his way past, whilst this group made the way up the climb here up towards the bridge. They're going to go past the bridge with the bridge on the right hand side. We're just going to take a look in from the sky. Time to find some more Grand Tour coffee. Got the last coffee of the day, honest gov. This Bibby's just doing a Yui in the middle of the field for no good reason. By the look of it, we might have to drop across to somebody else out on course. Damn legit! Legit! You right, Danny boy? Dan's here from house. Can't take the mickey out every single time. I run out of ways to pronounce his name. Good to see Dan here. I hope he's got a headband, because the towel on his head was not the best of looks. But Danny boy in here, forever to be known as Danny boy now on every Chain Gang henceforth. No heart rate monitor on Dan. Maybe he's a robot. Maybe he doesn't have a heartbeat. He looked like he did when we saw him on his post on the Facebook page. So it looks like the studio just been ready. Unfortunately, the OT bottle is more than strong enough to cope. A bit like a bottle of champagne there. You'll have heard that go everywhere. This is what you want. So let's have a look. I wonder who is on a road bike. Is Jess Evans on a road bike? Oh yes, there's always one. It's the one and only Jess Evans. We could play pick on the roadie here, the person who didn't get an anti-bike. And I know Jess has got one, and a regular rider in the mud and the snow. That'll teach you not to read your email, won't it, Jess? I sit there and compose them for hours just for you. And guess what? You didn't read it. I've only written it about 6 times. Put an MTB on. It's a lot quicker. Put a gravel bike on. It's still better. It's alright. Jess has got the legs to be able to deal with this. That is for sure. So Jess nicely in with this group with Russ. We're just going to take a little bit of a look down through here. So Jimmy Mack in this group, just making his way up through here. Lots of the Cycling Academy boys have been riding under Jimmy's tutelage, and just going to try and get a good shot of Jimmy in between everybody. I'm sure Jimmy looks older than that in real life. He's got to be getting an old gimmer now. Still looking good, still got class, that's for sure. In real life, and like everybody, Jimmy no doubt saddened by the loss of Craig Hardy, and Craig, yeah, I will be pulling a wheelie for you, don't worry mate. I'm just trying not to stack it, I don't have anything like his skill. So here we go, the riders on the group just pushing up and past, and you can see at the moment it's a one long snake, so the call has come out from Russ to drop back please guys. Looks like Simon Wiley in with us. Is this the Simon Wiley? We'll be able to tell. Do you know how we're going to tell? We're going to see if he's got red hair. Simon, your avatar even looks like you, mate. Simon Wiley, a very skilled mountain biker, roadie and cross rider, and a man who on a mountain bike I've had the pleasure of watching before. One of our youngsters, and looking good at the moment, and read the memo. Got the mountain bike on. In fact, I'm impressed that we've not got more mountain bikes missing, rather than pretty much everybody looking to have a mountain bike underneath them, other than the odd few. So let's jump back to our red beacon as our riders continue to chase up the hill. Let's see who's around Ted. I'm sure there's going to be a few. So it looks like Miss Cookie on the heels of Ted here. So just going to have a look. Ted on the way up here. Cookie working hard, just nicely in with the group, and Cookie just going to be coming over the top of Ted at the moment. So let's jump in with Cookie, and let's take a little bit of a look. We've got the camera around the side of them. So Cookie and Ted at the moment are doing some good work on the way up this hillside. Looks like Darren Billings is behind, and Darren just working hard behind, currently kicking out 2.3 watts per kilo. So let's take a little bit of a look at Darren. Darren in the right kit. Does look like Darren as well. So going well at the moment. So it looks like Darren Billings working hard on his way up. We're just going to take a run up and just take a check out of Mark Grant. Mark, one of the riders who has been pushing on all the way through. He's been getting new personal best and personal records, as well as new FTPs, and working pretty hard here on his sort of way up the climb. Don't worry mate, it's going to go around to the right hand side, and Darren just working his sort of way up behind him. So you can just see the red beacon in front, so they're chasing our red beacon. So we're going to make our way just up the road past the red beacon group. We're going to go up to Marley. Marley are pretty much up near the back of the main group here, and Marley at the moment in a group of 3. Looks like there's a Langmead in here, Marley in here, and Rob Carling as well. So Rob's in here, and we'll just take a quick check out of Rob. So Rob in a very nice matching pink kit here today, and looks very good. It matches the bike very nice as well. Looks like the red beacon has got the biscuits on the go. Looks like Shade at the moment joining this group with Rob and the gang, just coming around the top turn here. So they're going to be taking this right hand turn, and then this will start to bring them down on the descent on the far side. And you can see there's quite a lot of riders, about 5 or 6 riders behind. Just going to take a little bit of a run up, because I've just seen that we've got Caroline Mansfield just up the road, and Caroline's in here. Caroline working well. Just got Scotland behind on the deep rims, and at the moment Mansfield is pushing on as she comes on the way up the hillside here. Caroline, of course, a regular mountain biker and a cross rider, a regular off-roader, and of course the CEO of Pritygrity, who are our supporters all week long. And we've got to say a massive thank you to them. It's great to be able to look at the kit on the website, to actually have my hands on some as well, and just as importantly to give you the chance to win some here on the DONNYCHAINGANG. And just in front of Caroline is Spedding. So Spedding at the moment just in danger of seeing this group coming behind. You can see all these riders behind us, the jack-o'-lanterns, the fireflies just come out in the jungle here. We're going to be heading across towards the bridge, but you can see that there are a huge number of riders in the pack behind. And if you take a look up on your screen, and we take a look up, it's a long steady line behind Russ. Now we're going to jump in with Foster, I think. Now Foster just down on the bridge. We're going to try and jump back to at least one of the riders as they come into this. Let's take a little bit of a look in here, and looks like Spedding just putting a kick onto the top of the hill, dropping down into the bridge. So remember guys, you're looking for the yellow beacon. The yellow beacon is the key point on the map that you're heading for. So Spedding using his momentum on the way down the hillside, and as you can see, a number of riders are using the opportunity to come past. And just taking a look up the road, plenty of people just up the road. We're going to work our way up a little bit to Becky Priest. Becky, of course, one of our regular riders on the off-road scene, absolutely mad as a box of frogs, equally just as good as jumping. And Becky, definite bad influence for anybody on a bike. She's got skills to burn, and has been known to take people down with some very, very dodgy stuff where maybe they shouldn't try it, because she's more than capable of handling it. And good to see Becky here for the Hope Factory team. Looks like they're just closing down on Sam Street just being closed in by this group. And as you can see, looks like Becky Priest just on the front, just alongside Sam at the moment as they continue to push down. Looks like Mark Swift's in here now. Just Ride Bikes is not too far away. We're going to take a little bit of a run up towards the riders who are chasing Russ down at the moment. And as you can see, it is well spread out. So Sammy Stewart at the back of this group is one long line from this group all the way towards Russ. And as you can see, Russ just diving down in. He's going to be around that hairpin turn. Let's take a little bit of a look up. Russ round the turn, plenty of people with him. This little rutted section as the riders come around the turn here, and then head down in towards the zigzags, taking the way down here, hopefully carving the turns nicely on the way in towards the bridge. As we head back across towards the other side, there's going to be a left-hand turn. Looks like there's plenty of gaps opening up between the riders. If you take a look up at your map, top right-hand side, you can see on this zoomed-in version there are gaps opening up. The only good thing is it is going to be a little bit easier to pull those gaps back as our riders come across the bridge here. Lisa Leviton chasing Sammy Stewart at the moment as they make their way up and across on towards the Stewart round that bend and into the tunnels here. And it is really interesting here. I think later on we're going to see it's all going to get really, really busy. It looks like there's a couple of groups that are well off the back here. So nobody said to do 5 watts per kilo or 4.5 watts per kilo. If you're one of the Muppets on the front, turn the throttles off. Don't be a mappy. So you can see the road bikes, looks like Shelley at the moment, just working up, taking advantage of the better bit of surface. And Swift, one of the fantastic things about Swift, the change the surface, it does affect how the whole game rides, and that is really, really important. Now, just going to take a little bit of a look at Mr. Hall, because Hall said he was going the full Monty, he got the bike all set up, ready to go. Mr. Hall, if you have put the old mountain bike on the turbo, we do want to know. It's looking pretty good at the moment. Not changed the helmet though for a skate park styley helmet, it has to be said, but this group looking good at the moment, and Hall pushing out some good watts here, 250 watts, 60 revs per minute, and heart rate at the moment 172. So as you can see, this group are just going to take the turn out here, and underneath the beacon we're just up right by Russ at the moment. Just dodge the pillars on the way through, don't need to crash anything down. It's a pretty old bit of scenery out here, so you can see the world of Watopia is a very, very one, and there's lots of great scenery in here. It's night actually over in Watopia, in this part of it, and in fact it depends where your server is connected to as to what the weather is doing. So if where your server connects to is raining, then that's what you're going to find. So let's take a little bit of a look. It looks like Hall nicely pushed into this group. Andy Wolf's in here as well. Looks like Dan Coleman in this pack. Let's keep a little bit of a look at Coleman. Let's get up in the air a little bit here and take a look at what Coleman's riding today. Looks like he's in that level 20 jersey, same as Maddie Smith, and looking good at the moment. Pack of riders out on the DONNYCHAINGANG as we head down towards the Alpe d'Huez turn at the moment, and that's actually where we're just about to head past. That's the turn for the Alpe d'Huez there. As you can see, you can only go in there at level 6 and above. At the moment, Hall, Coleman, all rolling around Simon Wiley, Steve Hilbert, looks like Scarlett, Danger, Sam Emsley, Gary Licence, all around Russ at the moment as we go down into the tunnels. So down in the caves we go. You can hear the waterfalls at the side here as we make our way along the boards. It's certainly going to be bumpy for these riders as they make their way through the caves here in Watopia, down in the Mayan jungle in the caves at the moment, and it's certainly looking like these riders are going to be pushing in towards the archway very, very quickly. Dobson just jumping up onto the back of the group. Very difficult for everybody, of course, because you only see 100 riders at a time, and that means it's very difficult to know where everyone is. This is a little bit of a test run into the finish, because you're going to come around this corner and head in towards here, and our riders at the moment 30 minutes in, 17k done. Remember, about 37 is when we're going to be, sorry, 36 when we're going to be hitting the archway, and that will be the run into the finish next time round. So that's a little bit of a dress rehearsal. I was going to say dry run, but it's not dry underneath the arches and the waterfalls in the cave at the moment. So let's take a little bit of a look. Looks like the Cannonball is in here. Good to see the Cannonball looking good. So let's take a little bit of a look what Cannonball's got on the go at the moment. Nice trot bikes with concept bike there. Not the fastest thing on this circuit. Gives away quite a substantial amount of time on the circuit to a mountain bike, so the Cannonball is going to be working hard at the moment. And Dobson just on the back of this group, and we'll just take a little bit of a look behind the one or two riders just starting to be distance behind. So we're just going to take a check through all of our riders. Let's see how our red beacon is getting on. So this is the main group we're with at the moment, and And as we jump across to the red beacon, it looks like he's got at least Andy Halls for company and Miss Cookie. So this is going to be Ted, Miss Cookie and Andy Halls in this group of 3, just behind. I think we're just about going to be able to catch a view here as we take a little bit of a look back. Yeah, just coming up behind it is Darren Billings. Looks like Shay and Grant a little bit further back. And let's see if we can just jump in with Shay first of all. So let's take a little bit of a look back. So Shay here currently got about 13 seconds across to the group in front, and pretty much equidistant to Mr. Grant behind, who is working hard here. So just going to take a little bit of a look at Mark Grant on the mountain bike. Had a great ride on Tuesday, and I would have thought, mate, your legs are still feeling that. So they're on the run down. They're just about to come past the turn to the waterfall. We're going to drop across to Alan Parsons and Mr. Ridley, a man who is no stranger to riding off-road. And Alan Parsons here, it looks like he's going to be seeing that red beacon group. They're coming pretty quickly behind, and if we take a little bit of a look behind Alan at the moment, you can see that red chevron there. Just in front, I think, is Langmead. So let's take a little bit of a look. Yep, Langmead is coming as well. If we take a look back, here they come. So this is the red beacon group here. Andy Halls leading Ted, Cookie and Billings. Alan Parsons putting a kick in here. You can see Parsons watts going up. I mean, he's kicking out 315 watts here. So this is now a group of 5. It's going to be Langmead they're going to see next. And as you can see, Alan just trying to get his speed adjusted to that group. So Langmead is going to see them coming very, very shortly. Here they are. And Langmead at the moment has got Alan Parsons just coming past him. We're going to take a little bit of a run up because we've got a duo of riders. I think it is going to be Marley here, and just behind Marley is Scothen. So they've just gone underneath the archway. This is Marley here with Scothen on the wheels. Scotland, I think, paying the price for not having the mountain bike engaged. Next group up the road is going to be Rob Carling in the pink with the beard, then Kujak in the black, Mansfield in the orange, and this group of riders, let's see what they've got in front. They've got plenty of riders. There's carrots to go chasing after. Looks like Radcliffe just up here. And Radcliffe on a road bike, going to be finding that hard. Looks like Joy Smith just in front here. So Joy Smith is going to see this group coming as well. Rich Shade is up there. Looks like Foster just in the front. We're going to take a look. Priest is just up the road. Beresford is up there. We're going to take a little bit of a hunt up. It looks like a big old group around Mark Smith here. So here we go. So just taking a little bit of a hunt over the top. The guys, Ferrens there, Cooper, Hind, Bolt in this group. Looks like Dre, Tompkins and Berry on the ascent. There's plenty of groups up the road here. It is a tough climb, this when you are on the mountain bike. It's even worse though if you ride a road bike on this circuit just in Zwift. It is brutal stuff. So it looks to me like Street is on his way up there and climbing well. So let's take a little bit of a look. We're going to jump in with Emma Collier. So Collier is sitting in with a good group here. He's got Catherine from Live there. I think we've got her just in front. Cooties just up here. We've got Phillips, Taylor, Nick Rudkin, looks like Smith's in here, Shay, Dixon just up the road as well. So just keeping an eye on all these riders, and I think they are going to find that they're going to be coming back together again. At the moment, Big Tez is likely to find them coming fast because they're only about 10 seconds behind. Karen Partington has got a couple of riders in front. Looks like Hall, Shelley and Foxy just in front there. and we're just going to take a check in here. So Foxy, you having changed the bike on the way through, looking good, and just sitting here just in front of Kirkham is Shelley and Hall. And they are just pushing on behind. We're going to see who's in front. A nice long train of riders, and you can just see these riders are making the way up here. I think Nick Dorsey in the cross bike there. Looks like Dorsey is staying true to his roots with the cross bike on the go. So one long train up to Russ. We're going to jump up to Lisa Leverton, who I think has got Joe Jarvis just alongside. Jarvis in the purple, Leverton in the yellow and black at the moment. And these riders are working their way up this slope. Looks like Gately is up there. Looks like everybody is working well here. Taylor just up the road. Beefy from Cycleways is up here, just in with Gear Race at the moment. Going to jump in with Senior. Senior's got plenty of riders in front. Looks like one or two already feeling the pace. It's amazing what difference it makes when you change the bikes over on Zwift for riders. As you can see, big group of riders chasing hard here. Looks like Fraser in there, Matlock, rider Andy Wolf's in there. We're just going to take a little bit of a look. I think Conor McGuigan is just up the road. It's one long string of riders at the moment. So Hemstoffel in here. Looks like Holmes is up the road. Neil Fryer is just up the road here. And Darren Topless riding well. We thought he would go well today. And Topless now on to the bridge. Let's take a look out across. And as you can see, this bridge, it really is entertaining for our riders as they make their way through. There's not a lot between you and the big drop. It isn't very good for anybody who's got a fear of heights. Andy Verrill, sorry mate, couldn't resist giving you a view of these riders on the way across the canyon. You can just see the Mayan temple in the distance, and looks to me like Darren Topless just chasing onto the back wheel of Fryer, just working his way up here. Looks like Gary Licence is just up the road as well, and Bennett as well. Bennett, one of our newer members, along with people like Ian Bibby. So this group working hard. We're just going to jump out on the screen, and it looks at the moment like Russ is coming around that top turn. Let's see if we can jump back in with Russ. Easier said than done. So we go with Russ, and Russ at the moment is here. So just taking a little bit of a look as he goes and keeps an eye on what's going on. We're going to take a little bit of a look behind Russ at the moment. Let's see what's happening in front. Hopefully there's going to be a few people listening to Russ's instructions on the way through, keeping the group together. Remember, we're only seeing the 100 riders nearest to Russ at the moment. Certainly looks like plenty of people, Ian Bibby in this group as well. As McNamara says, we just won't give a go. We've done that before. We have also pulled the coverage before now. If people don't play the game, it's really easy. Our game, our toys, dead easy. Pull the coverage if people don't play the game. They're just going to come and rip it up. Fortunately, most people do listen, and have to say, first one on a mountain bike circuit, I don't think they're doing too badly. It's pretty dusty, pretty busy out there, but looks like Russ just about keeping everybody all together. Let's take a little bit of a look at Russ with the shades on already. The Oakleys from 1080. 1080, of course, is going to be back with us again, and looking forward to seeing how that rolls. Remember, of course, Ian Taylor and the guys at 1080 supporting the Chain Gang with Oakley August. So down past the Mayan Temple we go, and now we're going to drop down with Russ at the moment. So we make our way down towards the bridges here. At the moment, it looks to me like these riders really are keeping on pushing. It's rolling at about 4 watts per kilo here, and just keeping an eye on the riders. Looks like Andy Dryberg's in here. Andy, if you're listening, can you make sure you stick your full name on the registration? Registration's really important for us, that it keeps a check of who's on the ride. We have lots of riders of different ages on the gang, and we want to make sure that we keep an eye on who is on the gang, and we can show how many numbers we have. That gives us much more bargaining power when it comes to getting the rides on, when it comes to getting support for the rides, and that helps everybody out. Russ and I need your support, of course, and that's why we set up the DCG gang, because the DCG gang is what keeps the show on the road and helps Russ and I make it all happen and put it all together. So just seeing Finn Mansfield in here, Antonio Andoni in the group. Looks like Alfie Atherton from the Cycling Academy in this group as well. And just taking a look out, the group are on the way up this slope at the moment, and certainly looks to me like the roads are keeping things interesting, hopefully keeping the riders slightly honest as the group make their way up this big slope here. The mountains in the background. Looks like Rob Smith in here now. Joe Clay in this group, and Joe, one of our fast mountain bikers, a top flight and a national standard mountain biker, looking very, very good. So Joe sitting in the group, sitting in the wheels at the moment as this group continues upwards, and you can just see one or two people just fighting to stay on the wheels at the moment as we go over this section of boardwalk. And we've got a long sweeping left hand turn before the right turn down towards the descent. Just jumping back in with Russ here. We get up in the air. Russ looking like he's got plenty more left in the tank here. Get that drone up slightly higher so that we get a decent view of him. And Russ at the moment sitting in this pack, plenty of people in a long line behind. It's going to be really interesting to see if we get any PBs out of today, whether or not people are able to put out plenty of power. It certainly should test people's minds on the way around. Certainly not going to make things interesting if it didn't have a result. And as you can see, plenty of people seeing riders going in the opposite direction as well, and that's what we want to see riders out and around the whole of the circuit, and that's what's happening at the moment. So busy out on the roads. The dust slow down, making things interesting in terms of keeping an eye on the riders. This twisting and turning course now heading in for 26.4k. As you can see, low down, the dust is definitely kicking up at the moment. So riders on the way through. Looks very, very busy down there. Nice big pack coming in underneath the gantry once again. This is going to be the third passage through. Going to be at 47 or so minutes. So coming round, we're going to be underneath the gantry very shortly, underneath that stone arch on this long sweeping turn. Here comes the stone arch as the waterfall pounds down on the outside of the riders. And the go has gone, so we have about 9k to go, and with 9k to go, Neil Morn has gone for this, and Russ has gone on to the front though, and as you can see, it is packed behind him. Look at the power-ups going in. Everybody knows that this is going to get very spicy indeed. It is absolutely nails. Liam Calloway on his birthday giving it some big beans. But look at this, it is a big old group here. Regular faces, regular names in here. John Wild, Phil Ozake is in here. Matt Gilmore's in here. Looks like Ruby Miller in with this group. So well, everybody pushing onwards now as that group leads its way out from the caves up onto the climb. Now we're going to go fully up to the top. We're going to come down the far side, cross over the bridge, then come back down this road and into the gantry. Then that will be the finish. And at the moment, everybody are putting some serious power out, but it's a long climb up here. Just going to drop in with one of our favourite riders. Question is, has he got the power today? This is Craig Herring sitting there in the green at the moment, looking like he's trying to keep it close to the front. And as you can see, Kieran Brown, the man who spends most of his time on the mountain bike, right up at the front. Looks like McNamara's up there as well. So I'm going to keep an eye out on those front riders. So looks like McHenry's in here, who's pushing on at the moment. Just going to take a little bit of a check. This is the group that is about to get caught, I suspect, by the riders behind, and it is a driver who's gone for this on the front. So it looks like the Red Beacon group is likely to see riders on the way round, I suspect. But at the moment, Dryberg are working to keep it together here. This is our leaders. Anybody in front of these guys? Well, they are behind the pace, because this is our leading group. Dryberg leading up here and opening it up. Anybody in front of this group, you weren't in the group at the go. You were being a bunch of muppets off the front. And to be honest, don't bother coming again. We don't want to see you. It's dead simple, guys. This is the leading group that we're in at the go. If you were in front of these guys at the go, you were being a bunch of planks. If you don't like what you're being called, don't ride like a muppet. So our leaders on the way up the climb here. Looks like Gilmore's gone up onto the front here. Looks like McHenry right on his wheels at the moment, and it's Gilmore who is leading this group out at the moment. So Gilmore it is who's got the front of the group at the moment. So looks like they're going to become sweeping past Sharp Matthias, McDermott, Ellis, Brooks, Hawkins. Different world, you lot, weren't you? Not watching the screen, not watching the yellow beacon. Not watching the front of the ride. Mappies. Complete mappies. So Gilmore leading this out, sweeping past plenty of people who clearly don't understand the meaning of stay with the yellow beacon. And Gilmore it is who is leading this ride out. So it looks like Dryberg just coming up on to the wheels here. So it's Gilmore and Dryberg being chased by Coleman and Kieran Brown. At the moment it's Dryberg who now has the lead. So Dryberg are leading this at the moment. He is absolutely motoring his way up here. So Dryberg at the moment in front of Gilmore. These are the riders who are around our yellow beacon at the point of the go, go, go. That's where we start the ride. That's where the front of the ride is. Anybody off the front? So Dryberg leading, Wild sitting on his wheels in the brown. Then it's Kieran Brown in the green jersey, who's sitting very, very close by. These are our leaders at the moment, working well here, keeping the pressure on the way around. Looks like Kieran Brown just jumping up onto the front now, so just in with Kieran at the front of the group now. So just keeping an eye on Kieran here. Kieran has the front driver. This is our leading group of riders. So Brown followed by Dryberg, McHenry, Gilmore, Wild, Coleman, Richardson, all in this group. Nobody coming past this lot, and just about to get themselves out past the turn. So here they go. This is our leading group. Looks like one Muppet trying to jump on the back, who went off the front, trying to close down this leading group and jump in after being trying to take a head start and just being shown up by the rest of the group here, as Kieran Brown continues to keep that pressure on at the moment. And Brown it is who's leading this out. He's got Dryberg on his wheel, Coleman, Wild in there, McHenry's in here. Everybody on the front group here working well together. Eboli sitting in this group at the moment, a man who's no stranger to riding the mountain bike rounds at Zwift. We've seen him do it on the road rides, we saw him do it in France. It's Kieran Brown at the moment of Pine Cycles leading this ride out, opening up the gaps on the rest of the riders. The yellow beacon not too far behind, but remember it's deceptive as this lead group are going to come sweeping down onto that bridge. So it looks like Dryberg just feeling the pressure as the riders go on and through, and Dryberg having to put in some serious watts per kilo as onto the bridge they go. This is the fantastic bridge on the top here of Watopia, and as you can see, it's a long way down for these riders. As we take a little bit of a look, they're going to come sweeping up this steep section here. Is anybody going to open this up? It's going to get very, very tasty indeed. Kieran Brown has continued to push on here. So taking a look at Brown at the moment, and it looks to me like he is giving it some serious beans. He's got 3.8 watts per kilo. Dryberg is with him. So Dryberg, McHenry, looks like Wild in here. Gilmore, Bowley and Coleman are our leading group as they come down this slope, and at the moment it is going to be McHenry who is leading it out. So we're just in with McHenry. He was in that lead group as well, with Russ Downing as the go went, and this group are working well together. This is where the leader is going to come in and through. They're currently on the way down this slope. Remember, they're going to go across to the far side of the bridge, so they're not going to catch up with the red beacon, I don't think. And this leading group are giving it some serious stick tonight as they come down here. It's absolutely nailed as they come down this slope here. One big pack giving it some serious pace, and yet again it looks to me like Kieran Brown just jumping onto the front here. We're still riding in with McHenry at the moment, but it is going to be Kieran Brown who keeps on going up onto the front, but he's been passed once again, and McHenry is keeping the pace high here. Wild is with him. But at the moment, Kieran Brown here now, they're going to take the right-hand turn and head over the bridge. This is your leading pack as they come steaming down here. It's absolutely flat out, 52 kph, and they're currently kicking out between about 4.5 and 5.5 watts per kilo here in Zwift. 400 watts coming out as they go up past Grunt, going in the opposite direction here. And as you can see, this group are absolutely nailing it down here. There is nothing to stop them, I don't think, on the way through to the finish. There's one more nasty bit of climb as they come through, and Kieran Brown back onto the front again. You can see they're even scaring the wildlife off on the way round here. So Brown now coming down into the turn, leading the pack in and through. Here they come. They're going to be keeping it very tight indeed. Nobody wants to let a wheel go. They've got a really nice pace here, this group, but they are stretching it out. Brown on the front still leading the group for Pine Cycles, and it looks like one or two riders just starting to feel the pace behind. But at the moment it is Kieran Brown with the pack behind him as they come steaming across this bridge. They're going to be up onto that climb very, very shortly. This is the lead group. You can see the beacon in the background as these riders now start to make the way up the climb. This is going to be interesting. Who's going to put the pressure on? McHenry has gone hard here, and McHenry is trying to lead them out on the way through. So here we go, McHenry on the front, working well. This is the leaders of the Donny Chain Gang in at the go, giving it some serious stick tonight. And the riders are working well. It looks certainly to me like the winner is going to come from this group at the moment. Dryberg, Brown in there. John Wild, Ed Bowley comes over the top. Kieran Brown in there as well. And Kieran Brown looking good. So in we go. Take a hunt across. This is that leading group. Nobody in who can do them damage. Matt Gilmore just holding on to the wheels. Ed Bowley, McHenry, Wild in here. It is absolutely flat out at the moment, but the leader is going to come from these guys. Russ not too far behind, but I think the red beacon is going to see them come in the opposite direction as our riders now take that left-hand turn. They're on the final descent down. They remember they're going to go into the caves. Once they're in the caves, they're going to be sprinting it out for the finish. And here they go. They are absolutely nailing this on the way down the hillside. We're going to take a quick check because the leader's going to come from this group. Who's got the big sprint? Who is going to be able to attack out of this group? We've already seen McHenry put the pace on. When it's got quick, they're going to come down. They've not got far to go. I think they're literally going to have about a K or so absolutely max at the moment. But this is the leading group. It is Kieran Brown leading them out. John Wild is in here. He's sitting on wheel number 3, and Kieran Brown is our leader. Ignore the rider they're going past. A DQ straight away for sure as they come down. Wild now takes the front of this. Bowley's in here as well. Everybody nailing this on the way through, and at the moment it is absolutely flat out at the front. We're just going to try and get ourselves back up with them. Got to get in before they get to the turn. It is absolutely just dropped us off the side there. We've got big apologies here because it looks like this group has gone off the front. So just going to jump down in with Russ here in an attempt to get back up to the very front group here. It's going to be easier said than done at the moment. Andy Drebber, we're back in with them. Whew. Don't want to have to do that again as Gilmore goes on the front here. He's the first rider to go hard. He knows it's going to be coming up around this turn. So at the moment it is Gilmore who's going to be taking the win here. If he can hold it round to the line. Kieran Brown is coming behind. Is Brown going to get him? Because Brown is closing down on the gap. So Gilmore here. Time is running out. Gilmore takes it. Then Brown in second place. In third place, John Wild absolutely flying the way down that circuit there. Brilliant stuff as they come in and through. We are going to start jumping backwards pretty quickly because it looks like Coleman just distanced in those last few meters on his way down. We're going to drop in McNamara, another of our riders who is working hard in with the yellow beacon as he came in, and McNamara alongside Russ at the moment. The question is which of these riders is going to take it as they come round. The gantry comes into sight. Is Russ going to put a kick in here? I think he is. Is he going to turn McNamara? He's going to roll him here as they come in towards the line. Wiley's coming hard beside him. But at the moment it looks to me like that went very clearly across, and great work done on the way in. We're going to drop down Andy Bishop, another of our riders who was in with that group at the go, and just keeping an eye on those riders coming in. It's looking really busy in and through as these riders come down in towards the gantry. Remember, this is the finishing line. It's going to come pretty quickly. We guessed it was around about 37 or so K, and these riders come in and through underneath. It looks like the riders coming thick and fast in towards the gantry. Now let's take a little bit of a look. We're just in with Adi Dench, and I think Ruby Miller is on her way in towards the line. So Ruby is on her way in. I'm not so sure whether she's the first woman. Apologies, but of course don't forget, a very busy day out on the bikes on a very gritty ride here. So just rolling our way back down and through. We're hunting for some of our riders who are in with the right group, and there we go. It looks like Phil Ozake just coming in, or just into the gantry there, just behind Adi Dench. So we're going to drop back a little bit further and keep an eye on these riders coming through. Just looking for Mr. Herring, who's on his way. We know Craig in with the group, and we might even get Birthday Boy on his way in as well as they go in under the line there. So just taking a jump in, we're going to hunt for Mr. Bibby. Come on, Bibbs, all the way to the gantry, mate, as Katie Clough goes past Joe Clay. Has done so, and Bibby's got plenty of K to go, currently at 25K. We're going to jump in with Katie Clough just coming in towards line. Going to see that gantry come around the corner, and Clough's going to be our next finisher as she comes in through the gantry. So it's going to be Clough just ahead of Joe Clay. Looks like Bibby's out for another lap as he comes in towards the line. Going to jump in with Dan Liggett at the moment. Dan, one of our regular riders who knows the score, going to be riding in with the beacon until the go, along with Finny and Johnny Two Dogs. Good to see Johnny back in here. And Johnny, one of our regular riders on the chain gang. Good to see he is in the group. We're just going to drop back a little bit because we've got Ailey Gilbert leading in the next group. Luke Taylor, 84, Chris Sharp. Looks like Nichols in here as well. Young Mr. Woodbridge in here. Good to see you, Woodbridge, one of our newer riders on the chain gang, but a key supporter of the chain gang in here, putting in a big kick as he comes in towards the line. He knows the gantry's coming up. It's not going to be far away at all. And you can see, is he going to make this? He has. He's got to the front just at the right time. And underneath the gantry he goes. So Woodbridge it is who leads that group in and through. Just taking a little bit of a hump back. Our next group are here as they come in towards the line. Looks like Tom Brennan going to lead home the group that's got Sonia Inslee, Chris in there. Yeah, Chris from the Alliance MTB, Chris Sestine, James, Rob Wimble in that group, Mosley in there as well. Just looks like Ruth Taylor in through that line as well. We're going to just drop back to see our next group come through. Looks like we have got Thomas Crapper in the house. Good to see young Thomas riding the chain gang here as Paul Coleman pushing in towards the line here. Everybody trying to maximise their time as they come in to the line there. Fiona Kestevan just coming in through the line with that group there. So good riding by Fiona in with the group. Looks like Kevin Donahue and Tony Nambone in there, just working our way back behind the line if we can to our next group. So this is going to be Holmes and Fletcher. So just in with Fletcher at the moment on the red Swift Mountain bike at the moment, and then Holmes with him, and Holmes going up onto the front here, and Holmes knows that gantry's coming. You can see the pressure's gone on, but is Fletcher going to roll him here? This is a proper full-on mountain bike sprint here, but look at this. I think Holmes is going to take this. Holmes absolutely nailing it all the way to the line from Fletcher. Then it's going to be Chris Ball coming in and through, so it's Ball just ahead of Barry Kipling. Then it's going to be Neil Fryer. So Fryer's going to come through with Steve Hilbert not too far behind him. Going to jump in with Mr. Bennett, because Bennett is not too far out. Another of our newer members into the Donny Chain Gang, into the DCG gang, the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. Good to have him on board. Dropping back now to the man who's written the Second Testament, the second version of the Bible of cyclocross. And it is somebody who I've had the pleasure of working on the Crosscast with, and this is Alex Forrester. Forrester, one of the well-known riders for the Zepnat squad, and his mountain biking skills coming in along with his cross skills as he makes his way in. Is he going to get rolled? He is. More coaching required. So Forrester on his way in. Darren Topless, another of our regulars, in here. Looks like all these riders working hard as they come through the line. Foxy just making her way into the line. Looks like James from Chef Wreck working well here. Looks like Nick Dorsey on his way towards the line in this group. Dorsey's going to be leading this out. Is he going to be the man who's going to take it? They're going to be the next big group to the line as John Paul Weiser and Lisa Leviton go through the gantry here on Pritygrity week. It is a gritty ride today. The question is, who's going to take this out? Who is going to be able to take the sprint? Remember, it's been a tough all day at the office for these riders, and already you can see people are winding it up, and it's going to be young Taylor who's gone for it this time. Are they going to close him down? No, I think it is going to be Taylor's going to take this. Taylor on the front goes through the spray, taking the win there. Then it's going to be Karen Partington, and then it's a group of three with Phillips, Sanderson, Dorsey, Robinson, Rothery, Shea. Then I think McWigan just coming in behind them. Carl Johnson in the next group here, and as you can see, Colin Bell, Beefy from Cycleways, riding on the gravel bike there. Looks like Carl Johnson in the green, just riding in on a mountain bike there. And then behind him it's going to be Fraser, and Fraser, this group of three coming around that final turn. Looks like these riders, so it's Beatty. Sorry, my apologies, it's Richard Beatty here who is opening it up, and Beatty is going for this. Is he going to get it? Oh, it's so tight, but it looks to me Johnson just nicks it on the line there from Beatty. Then Colin Bell from Beefy from Cycleways. And they're the riders that came in, and as we take a look up, it looks to me like it's going to be Fraser who has Joe Jarvis closing down on the wheels here. Is Jarvis going to get Fraser back? That's the question. Well, I think our camera is just foreshortening it at the moment, because I think Fraser has got a big enough gap. You can just see top right hand side of your screen, and we're going to see that gantry going to be coming very soon indeed. So here it comes. Underneath the gantry goes Fraser, and just behind it is then going to be Joe Jarvis, followed by Nick Rudkin, and then it's going to be Hemmelstoff. Is going to be Hemstoffel, sorry, the next rider. Then it's going to be Andy Wolf. Wolf has company with Cootie, and I think it is, let's take a little look, Cootie in the yellow and Nunn in the white. They're ahead of Sheldon Hall at the moment, Flanagan, Gear and Herbert. Cootie it is who's leading this out, and at the moment looks to me like Nunn is sitting in a second wheel, poised to pounce, and Cootie's going to get rolled here. So as they come towards the line, Cootie in the yellow tries to push but can't quite get him. Nunn, and then Cootie, then it is Andy Wolf, then it's going to be Street who's going to come through just ahead of Sheldon Hall. So Street comes through with Hall chasing, and Hall is going to be into the line very, very shortly. So just watching Hall, who definitely has entered into the spirit of it on the Facebook page. And don't forget to give us your nominations for the Facebook page on there for people who really have summed up the Chain Gang spirit. So Street, Hall, both through. Flanagan just coming up to the line here. So Flanagan comes through the arch here underneath the waterfall. Then it's going to be Harper and Gear just in with Gear at the moment. And Gear making sure he gets it, goes through the line. And then it's going to be Harper, then Her. So Her comes through in front of Beresford. Beresford at the moment riding smoothly here, 185 beats per minute, so really is pushing on here, and Beresford is going to be able to see that gantry just in front. Here it comes, and underneath the gantry goes Beresford. So Beresford in front of Kirkham. Kirkham with a big sprint there. Can he keep that going all the way to the line? Well, it's coming very shortly. Here comes the gantry. So Kirkham goes through, then it is going to be Dre who's around the turn, so Dre is going to see that gantry in front, and here it comes. So Dre really is motoring towards the gantry here, currently kicking out 5.6 watts per kilo, and Dre comes in, and through behind is going to be Mick. So Mick at the moment working well on his way in, and that gantry just coming up to take Mick through. And good riding by Mick here in Watopia in the Pritygrity ride on the Serpentine 8. Next up is going to be Barry. Barry in that yellow jersey, just making his way down through the spray in underneath, and he's going to come in just ahead of Tim Cooper. Is Cooper going to get rolled here by Emma Collier? Collier's gone on to the front. Who is going to take this out? I think Emma Collier could well be the rider who's going to take this. And Collier it is who goes in through the line. Then it's going to be Tim Cooper. So Cooper comes through just in ahead of Ronnie, then Tonkins. So Tonkins just rounding that right-hand turn, just taking a little look behind, and nobody behind for quite a way at the moment. 25-second gap behind Tonkins. So Tonkins is going to be our next rider. So good riding by Tonkins here in the Mayan World here in Swift. As our next rider in will be another Bolsover rider. It's going to be Taylor on the way towards the line at the moment. Not a drop of sweat at the moment from Taylor, who is riding on well here on a Pritygrity week, kicking around about 80-90 revs per minute at the moment, and just keeping it nice and smooth as Taylor comes through, electing to ride a road bike today, which will have made it definitely harder work, that is for sure. Behind then you've got Radcliffe, but Finch is coming hard behind. Can Finch come through quick enough? It's going to be tight here, but Finch is the rider who's got the kick, and it's going to be Finch who's going to take this. So as they come into the gantry, it is Finch who comes through just ahead of Taylor and Radcliffe. Sean Ferrer's going to be our next rider, who's got Catherine on his wheels. So then it's going to be Catherine who's going to come through. So Catherine in that Peugeot kit, 19 seconds clear of Mark Swift. Swift here looking smooth. Mark, one of the bigger riders, going to be able to put down some serious power if Martin Bolt was to challenge. We can just see Martin behind at the moment, but looks to me like Swift has got the measure of him here in the wonderful world here in Watopia, all part of the Swift experience. Hopefully a few of you have been on the mountain bike to maybe try a different track from your norm. Don't forget, of course, all these things are all available on Swift and all part of the game, and all part of what makes it such a unique and fantastic platform for things like the DONNYCHAINGANG. Now, look at this, a real fight here between these riders as they go in towards the line. I'm just going to keep an eye on Andy Hawes here, because I think Halsey has gone hard here. He has. Look at this. Andy Hawes out of the saddle, putting in a big sprint as he comes to line. He's going to just take this. Andy Caldwell's going to come through behind. We're going to drop back to see Mr. Ridley. Alan Parsons on his way in there. I think Alan has been shepherding in some of that group as well on his way through. So Hawes, Lang Jeremy Caldwell and looks like Shea making the way in through the line. Then Alan Parsons coming through. Mr. Ridley going to drop in to Marley next. So Marley putting in a good ride here, and Marley currently 2 seconds clear of Miss Cookie and Hind behind. So Andy Caldwell did indeed time that slightly wrong. However, Andy Hawes timed it definitely right. So just jumping in with Miss Cookie. She's our next rider. Then it's going to be Hind. I think it's Jayetta Hind on the way behind them, quite literally. And then we're going to jump in with our Red Beacon group. This is Ted. Fantastic stuff, Ted. Thank you very much for shepherding the group around. Darren Billings just in front. And then it looks to me like Caroline Mansfield is going to be our next rider in through the line. And well done to Caroline. And a massive thank you to everybody at Pritygrity, to all of the gang for looking after our riders on the way in to the finish. Now, just going to take a little look, because I think our next rider in could be Rob Carney. So Rob, another regular rider in the East Midlands area, out on course, and now not too far from that finishing line, keeping the revs nice and high. 82 revs per minute, 156 beats per minute at the moment, just making his way out of the tunnels. And as you can see, Carling now on his way in towards the finish line here in the Serpentine 8. So Carling now coming into that final turn. He's going to be our next rider in through the gantry here. Rob Carling comes through the finishing line, looking good, and just clear here of Joy Smith. Joy Smith, the next rider, going to be through on, I think that's a Trek Super Caliber, if I'm not much mistaken, by the shock hidden away inside the top tube. So Joy Smith just coming in around the corner here, coming in towards the gantry, just ahead of Skull and Grant and Dickinson. And underneath the gantry, Joy Smith goes. Now Scotland, Dickinson and Grant are our three riders out on course. And Scotland just on the way up to the bridge. So whilst our cameras follow them through, we are going to just take a little bit of a look across at how people have got on. It looks pretty busy out there, that's for sure. So a quick reminder, guys, if you're on the chain gang, the way the chain gang works, you ride around the yellow beacon until the yellow beacon says go, go, go. It's really easy. Even a 3-year-old can manage that. If you can't manage that, and you want to just blow the socks off a ride, go somewhere else. We don't want you. We really don't. It's dead simple. You ruin it for everybody else. So please don't be selfish. Please don't make mistakes. Concentrate. Focus on staying with the yellow until the go, go, go. At that point, knock yourselves out. Rip it to pieces and get to that finishing line. But that's how the chain gang works. The chain gang members, the people who are on the DCG members club, the Donny Chain Gang supporters club, are the people who keep this show on the road. They're quite often the guys on the receiving end of the pasting put down by people who clearly don't care or don't know. So it's either ignorance because people don't know, in which case, guys, check out the Facebook page, read the instructions, read the description when you join the ride. Really simple. Please, guys, get it done. Don't ruin it for everybody else. In the meantime, very short go, go, go. Quite simply because of the group gone. We ignore them on commentary. We only focus on the group from the yellow beacon to the red. If anybody's in front of the yellow at the go, 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 not in that group, DQ. It's not a race. Doesn't mean we can't DQ you. In the meantime, I'm going to let Russ calm down. There's a reason I haven't gone on the phone to Russ in the meantime. That's because we're going to let him calm down. The people who poked the bear today expect to get bitten when we're out next week. If you're a member of the DCG gang, the DONNYCHAINGANG Supporters Club, remember, make sure you get those nominations in. If you've been out and riding, nominate people who have done something that has been in the spirit of the chain gang. Obviously not the people who ripped it apart at the front, but I'm sure lots of the people in the group have plenty of people helping them along and looking after them. Please, guys, get your nominations in. Make sure you tag Pritygrity and the DONNYCHAINGANG on the Facebook page, and we can make sure that we can give away the jersey, the hat, the arm warmers to the right people on the way through. So please, guys, make sure that you get the details out there. Make sure you nominate people. Make sure, if you haven't joined already, we've got some fantastic giveaways, including an exclusive one-of-a-kind giveaway that is going to be coming out to the members of the DONNYCHAINGANG Supporters Club, the DCG gang. £20 for the month donation will get you in there. Every month that you've donated in and joined will be one entry into the draw. It will be a random draw for a fantastic prize, and that's going to be coming out. The details will be announced over the weekend. Don't forget to get your entries in for Pritygrity. And don't forget that, of course, if you're a DCG gang member, there is a discount code for 20% off all of the kit, but you've got to have joined the DCG gang. Don't forget, of course, lots more discount codes for Grand Tour Coffee, OTE. We've got more discount codes coming up. Halo Wheels in there, Struggle events as well. But you've got to be in the DCG gang to take advantage of that. You'll get more than your membership money back if you spend anything on your kit. So please, guys, make sure you get in there. We're going to go back to Scotland, who is now heading into the finish. And we'll call our last few riders in. So we're just in with Scotland as they come through to finish here. 3 watts per kilo on the run into the line, and Andy Scotland, the next finisher here on the DONNYCHAINGANG, is going to finish 13 seconds ahead of Dickinson, and Dickinson at the moment keeping it nice and smooth. 80 revs per minute, 167 beats per minute, and it's going to be Dickinson, our next rider in through the line here. So Dickinson comes through, and that leaves one of our real heroes of the ride, and that is Mark Grant, one of the riders who's joined the gang, the Supporters Club, and a man who has nominated people for prizes already, and a man who has increased his FTP already this week. Mate, really, you should have been having a rest today, but thank you for coming on the gang. So great to see Mark on his way through. So as Mark finishes his ride and warms down, a quick reminder, make sure you go on the Facebook page, make sure you go on to the website, make sure you look when you enter what the ride is doing. Make sure that you keep your eye on the Facebook page for details of the giveaway. Next week we have 3 chain gangs in a row. Open chain gang on Tuesday, Women's Wednesday, oddly enough, on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have another open chain gang. So 3 in a row, really busy week, again on the chain gang. So a massive thank you to Pritygrity, to everybody who supports the DONNYCHAINGANG Supporters Club. Thank you for riding the chain gang, and we will see you next week here on the DONNYCHAINGANG, live on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel.